Very good evening to everyone and welcome to this next in our live stream series on this Saturday, the 17th of September. This is Christopher Duigan coming to you from our home, the next in this online program of live streams. I hope you are able to join me for the next hour of music in our In Concert series. Saturday night is the In Concert, this Saturday night is the classical program, and this evening I'll be playing a program of very calming, very gentle, standard popular music, as well as a section in the middle of the program that is an acknowledgement, a tribute, might say, to the passing of the Queen Elizabeth II, something that has obviously affected many people around the world. And I'll be playing a number of short pieces from the English repertoire, as well as the famous Nimrod variation from Elgar's Enigma. So I'm going to start off with three compositions, as I usually do, with three beautiful pieces, well-known pieces: Beethoven's Adagio from the Pathetique Sonata, the Mozart Andante from Sonata in D major K311, and ending off with Bach's Goldberg variations, the aria. I know that these pieces are often music that I play quite regularly, have played, but I realize that the nature of these live streams is such that everyone joins together and enjoys the regularity, the dependability of these live streams on these days, first and third Saturday and Wednesday of each month, but also that it's also just wonderful to hear music that we all know and that we all are familiar with and that we know are great pieces. So Beethoven, Mozart and Bach to start. Selection of 3 pieces there to start this evening's in concert. I started off with Beethoven, the Adagio from the Pathetique, Mozart, the Andante from the Sonata in DK 311, and the Aria from Bach's Goldberg Variation. And that last chord, G major, you can hear the slight twang and the tuning of the piano. It's been a rather up and down day. It's that time of year when the weather was about 34, 35 degrees today, I think. This morning it seemed very, very warm. And now it's quite cool, and it's been like that for a few days, and of course there's snow predicted, amazingly enough, in a day or two, but such is the nature of things. So this evening in our stream, welcome back Kevin, who's on the controls this evening. Lovely to have you back. And also you'll notice a few interesting details in the stream, in the decor tonight, thanks to Amy at Furniture Warehouse in Pietermaritzburg, who's kindly loaned me 1 or 2 items, notably these rather large flamingos. I'm not sure if they're going to stay. I might keep them. I'm not sure if they feel like they belong here in Casa Mexicana. They just sort of seem to nestle quite beautifully in the orchids, and it's amazing to see how the orchids at this time of year are just starting to show their first signs of finishing their season. The last of the cymbidiums is about to make its appearance. But there's some magnificent colors and some beautiful shots. Kevin, I forgot to ask you, there's one beautiful one right here behind me if you get a chance at some point. Of course, someone else who's at Casa Mexicana, who's here determined to make herself known, is, of course, the little pudding herself. That's Little Luce, and here's Little Lucy here. Hello, Little Luce. How are things today? You're looking very calm, yes. Oh, it's very warm, yes, I know. You've got your big furry coat on, but that's because you can't take it off. You're just stuck with your furry coat on all the time. I know it's very distressing on a hot day, but don't worry, Luce, it's going to calm down. Luce is doing well. Lucy's been behaving herself, because all those Switzerland finishing school manners have been coming in good use. Yes, you've been very well behaved. Frida, I'm going to chat to you in a minute. Now, as I said earlier this evening, in the second section, the next section, which I'm going to play for you, I'm going to include a number of pieces with English repertoire and Elgar's Nimrod from the Enigma Variations, just as a moment to acknowledge the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. As a South African, an English-speaking South African growing up in South Africa, I'm sure as many people of you watching, we are so inbound. This idea of English culture, our language and our traditions are so part of our culture and our heritage, whether we really follow the royalty or not. And certainly her impact and the amazing impact she had on the world for so many years is quite astounding. It's quite incredible. I had the opportunity of studying for 2 wonderful scholarships for 2 or 3 weeks each, including trips to a beautiful summer school at Dartmouth College, I think it was. Can't quite remember, and as well as trips, all expenses paid, trips in London through the Royal Overseas Leagues, as well as numerous concerts at the Royal Albert Hall at the Proms, and where I had the opportunity as a guest of the Royal Overseas League to sit actually in the Queen's box. Of course, everyone was very keen to see who was sitting in the Queen's box, so we were under strict instructions as to how we were to behave and what we had to wear. But it was something that the Queen's box was reserved, and those organizations which links to the Queen herself and where she was patron had access to the tickets. So I had great opportunity during that time. And then of course I also had the opportunity to study at the wonderful Royal Northern College of Music in Manchester. So the pieces that I'd like to play, I'm going to start off with a piece of music that actually I heard the other day in the funeral cortege, very moving ceremony to see the various soldiers and the uniforms, but also led by the marching bands, playing a number of funeral marches, including this funeral march by Mendelssohn. It's actually a song without words. Of course, remember that Mendelssohn was the favorite composer of Queen Victoria, and Queen Victoria at her wedding requested that the wedding march from Mendelssohn's Midsummer Night's Dream, which still a tradition that many people follow today. It was Queen Victoria who requested that piece from Mendelssohn's music to be played. So Mendelssohn also wrote this funeral march, and this was one of the pieces that I recognized along with the Chopin funeral march, the funeral march from Beethoven's Piano Sonata, Opus 26. And as part of the funeral, the music the band was playing, it's very moving to watch this. After that, I'm going to play the first movement of the Sonatina by Edward Elgar, a very charming little piece, a piece called Elizabeth by the Victorian composer Hubert Parry in about 1914, and then ending off with the Enigma variations, the single variation known as Nimrod, which has been played by numerous orchestras and also at Prince Philip's funeral. It's a piece that has become very much associated with this element of tribute and quiet contemplation. that selection there of English music by Elgar, starting with the Funeral March by Mendelssohn and ending off with the Nimrod variation from Elgar's Enigma variations, just as a conclusion in this evening's program as a mark of respect for the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, and as a very moving ceremonies to watch. Certainly everyone will be glued to the TV on Monday for possibly the world's biggest television audience. I'm not sure how many, Kevin, how many billion people do you think are watching this live stream? not quite as many. But of course we've got two very avid watchers here. Here is Frida. Frida's determined to make an appearance. You've had Lucy, and now here's Frida. Oh, I'm on the wrong side because the Frida's on my microphone. Hello, Frieds. Yes, Frida's having a little wave. Frida's determined to get in. Oh, wants to give me a little licksy. Frida's going to have a little licksy, and Lucy's determined to have no little playtime. So, ending off this evening's session, I'm going to finish off with the beautiful Romance. Yes, Lucy, I'm going to pick you up and I have to put you down. Beautiful Romance by Robert Schumann. This is such a beautifully rich piece of music. Gentle, but very much in the middle to lower registers, the melody of the keyboard, and a wonderful richness and harmony, a very close sound, a very rich sound to the music, which Lucy is very fond of. Yes, Lucy likes this one. And then two beautiful little mazurkas by Frederick Chopin, published after his death, set of posthumous mazurkas, pieces that I like, a mazurka in G minor and then one in A minor, a very unique, haunting theme. I've got a feeling that Chopin withheld these pieces from publication because they were actually very personal. They were, I think, very uncomplicated, and I think might have had some very personal meaning or significance in his own life. And then I'm going to end off with one of his more celebrated and famous compositions, but which is very gentle and sweet, marked atmosphere, and that's the Nocturne, Opus 9, number 2. Very beautiful, gentle piece. on that rather magical note of the Nocturne in E-flat Opus 9 by Frederick Chopin, I bring this evening's program of In Concert to a close. I started that section off with a Schumann Romance and also 2 Chopin Mazurkas. Wendy Pop's here. Wendy Pop hasn't come on for a little screen appearance for some time. Hello, Wendy Pop. How's everything going? Yes, Wendy Pop. Has Wendy Pop got a waggy tail? Yes, definitely, of course. What a question. Because Wendy Pop didn't go to Switzerland finishing school, so the tail is still wagging. Yeah, it's fine, Wendy. We appreciate your enthusiasm for everything. And here is little Luce. Come on, Luce, you can make one last. You're so desperate. Everyone loves little Lucy. Little Lucy's here. And Luce, what did you do today? Are you doing a back bend? A little back extension. Luce did nothing. Just nothing. Yes, you just hung around. It was very hot. It was a day to do nothing. Even doing his little puffy pants. Luce is doing a little panting. Oh, yes, a big back extension. Okay. Well, that does bring us to the end of this evening's session. Thank you, Kevin, for the technical support. Thank you to everyone who's watching. And now the next step in our process of bringing this live stream behind a series of gated platforms has begun. And I'm going to ask all of you who are watching to please sign up as members at my website, musicrevival.co.za. If you go there, you will find a members page. I am looking to create a different group, a different members group of those who are watching the live streams and following the live streams around the world, and also to keep them separate from those who are attending the concert. So I have a separate mailing list for concert appearances and public performances and a separate setup for the live streams. It also allows me to have a members area where eventually, not at the moment, it is free to sign up at the moment, but eventually once you are a member, I am going to be asking either for donation to check on a monthly basis by EFT, or possibly even by an automated system where you'll be able to pay by credit card at my website. But at the moment it is free. I'm really just trying to correlate and collect everyone who is watching these live streams either on Facebook or on YouTube or at my website. Soon it is only going to be viewed at my website, and you will have to be a registered member, and you will have to be hopefully paying something in towards these 4 live streams which do take place every month, and possibly more special events and special presentations. So please go along to my website, musicrevival.co.za. You'll see the members page. Register with your email address and a password. I know everyone hates it, but it's the only way to do it, and then you will have access to the live streams now and hopefully in the future. Thanks very much for coming along this evening. Look forward to seeing you this coming Wednesday, when I will be playing a piano hour selection of some light-hearted music from around the world. Look after yourselves and stay well.